So how is the preparation for your MAH CET going on? All good? So what are the topics where you guys are facing difficulty in? Any specific topic, any place? Yeah, good afternoon, Dharme. Good afternoon, Rishabh. So I believe visual reasoning, abstract reasoning, that is a very, very important, part of the exam. You can actually have a very good accuracy in it. You can, get a very good percentile, a very good, sorry, not percentile, a very good score in that particular section. So the reasoning section is extremely important because people generally, they practice English and maths throughout their life. It's the reasoning part which is a lot new to us. Yeah, good afternoon, Abhi, good afternoon, Harsh, good afternoon, Ishan, hi Kajal, good afternoon, Satesh, good afternoon, Swagat. Kajal, am I not audible? Am I audible, guys? Everyone? Is the audio clear? So today we are going to look into some of the questions which are related to abstract reasoning. Okay, and after showing you the question, I'll give you guys around 30 seconds time to figure out the right answer. Volume is very low. Okay, how about now? Is the volume fine now? Still low? Yeah, good afternoon, Shailesh. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so I'll keep the mouthpiece close to my mouth and I'll speak a little loud so that it's fine for you. So yeah, so I was discussing as to, how reasoning is very, very important part of your MAH CET. Okay, and there are very few days left for the exam. So let's practice some of the very good questions. Okay, so here is the first one. You have to identify the option that is embedded in the following figure. Rotation is not allowed. So it's visual reasoning, right? So you have to figure out which of the 4 options you can find in the given problem figure. Now, good afternoon, Sanskar. So most of you are answering C option, that is Charlie, right? Okay. So if you try to figure out if this particular figure is embedded in this or not, so you should be able to see it exactly the way it is, right? So do we see something like this? So I think this is the line. So yes, this is the figure that we see. C option is clearly visible over here. If you try to look out for delta, you have some extra segments over here. That will not work out. And in the Bravo, you do not have anything which is like an inverted table legs, right? So it's not there. Let's try the next question. Same logic. Can you select the option that is embedded in the following figure? Prachi says if rotation is not mentioned, rotation के बारे में अगर कुछ mention नहीं किया तो rotation use कर सकते हैं, बिल्कुल Prachi. अगर question में given है, if it is given in the question that rotation is not allowed, so you can't rotate things. But if it is if nothing is given, it means you can rotate if required. Okay, very good. Nice. Most of you are correct. Actually, everyone looks correct. Delta is what you guys say, right? So let's see. Can we see this figure over here? So I'm going to shade that region. Yes, so far, yes, we can see it. And then we have this particular region. Yes, D is the answer. Let's try the next one. Kajal, it's a repetition. It's a mixture where we are revising things. So how's the preparation going on, everyone? Are you guys studying well? Because there is hardly 3 weeks left, almost a little over 3 weeks. Right, very good. Sneha, Dharmi, Anuja, Surbhi, Milen, Rishabh, Satish, Abhi, Pranjal, Soham, Kanishka, Pranita, Ritesh, Pranay. Pranay, there is only one C, no? CCC. Priya. Very good. I'm aware of that. So, yes, we can see the exact figure in option C, which is this triangle. Then you have got the other side of the triangle, and then you have got the entire parallelogram type figure over here. So this is exactly visible here. Next one. Krishna, we are having puzzles. If you go to our YouTube channel, you will find puzzles happening, LRDI being happening. The strategy sessions are there. I myself taken a couple of strategy sessions. Is the voice still low? Shailesh? Okay, nice. Everyone says Charlie. Okay, let's see. So we need to have a horizontal line, and then we need to have a part here and this. So this particular shape is visible in option C, Charlie, right? Okay, the next one. My maths is not so good. I'm not focusing on maths and doing practice of logical, abstract and verbal. Will I score good? No, Kajal, you really need to practice all the 3 sections equally. They all are equally good. See, if somebody does only 50% of the questions in each of the 3 sections, it's good to go. But if you ignore one section, that means you have to do above 80% of the 2. Then only it's going to average out as 50% overall, right? So do not leave out in any section. Doesn't matter how bad you are at it, still practice. Something will be definitely better than nothing, right? Okay, Delta, very good. Sakshi asked, if in MAH CET LLB 5 years के पेपर को absent रहे तो next year में exam देने आते हैं क्या? Why are you going to be absent? See, you are always allowed to write a paper next year. Okay. So D is what you guys are saying. Okay. So we need a vertical line and we need 3 horizontal lines. We don't have a vertical line here with 3 horizontal. We have inclined ones. Here also we don't have 3 horizontal. Here also we don't have that. So the figure that will make sense here will be this one. from D. Okay, next type of question. This question is about directions. In directions given is, in the following questions from the given answer figures, select which one of the question figures is hidden, embedded, right? Similar to the previous one, but these are proper exam questions. Easy questions, that's nice, Subi, because this is exactly the type of questions you will get in your exam. Okay, so we are getting confusing answers. Some people say A, some people say C. Which one is the answer? Is it A? Is it C? Okay, very good. It is C. It is third. So if I use red color marker for you guys to figure it out, so this is what you will have. And if I use a blue color marker for this particular triangle, you will find it over here. So it's hidden on the rightmost side of the figure, right? Very good. Next one. You have to match. Very easy actually. Right. So B is the answer, right? In the case of A option, this is way too long for it to be compared, right? And in the case of C, this middle horizontal bar, this part, it stops exactly where the shape S stops. But in the question figure, it goes beyond them, right? It has been extended. And in delta, of course, the bottom line is not what it is here. So it should have been like this. So D also doesn't make sense. Charlie, C option doesn't make sense. Bravo is the answer. Correct. Very nice. Again, another simple question. So you should be good enough to solve questions from abstract in a matter of somewhere between 15 to 30 seconds per question. And it's very much achievable. All you need is practice. KK, we do have some video lectures. Go to our channel and you will find puzzle sessions that took place. In that description, you will find the link to the PDFs. Okay. Oh, Pranita, your answer looks different than others. You have answered alpha as in A option, while others have answered D. Milin says C. Is it A? Is it C? Is it D? So you have to only figure out the letters in the given left hand side, which will have an effect because of the mirror. So since you have an H over here, the mirror H is going to look something like this, which is not there in A, right? If you look at T, because T bottom is facing towards the mirror image should also face towards it. So T should have its tail towards the left hand side, which it is there in Bravo option, it's not there in Charlie, right? Now between Bravo and Delta option, as in B and D, the different letter that you see is this middle letter. Since M is over here with its open ends bottom, so mirror image is not going to make any difference, right? It won't go upwards, the opening of the bottom, right? So Bravo also is not your answer, Delta becomes your answer. So if you look at the options carefully, you can start eliminating the options, because that's what abstract reasoning is generally about. Not just abstract, any reasoning question, whether it is encoding, decoding, directions, blood relations. Sometimes you can't figure out the answer quickly. So what you do is you figure out the options that cannot be the answers. Okay, that is a smart way to solve questions like those. Okay, so thank you, Kajal, for that. In case you are not able to hear me properly because of the speakers, please use microphone. Next question. Clocks. It's not clock based question, but the figure is a clock one. Pretty simple, right? So let's not discuss much. It's definitely D, the mirror image. So it should look something like this. This type of figure is only available in option B and D, right? But in B, the hour hand is above, while in the question figure, it is below. So it should be below only. It can't be above, right? Okay. Next one. This is a different from whatever we have done previously. So there is a relation between first and second. Same logic you have to apply and relate third and fourth. The fourth figure is given in the options. Milind, you don't get very tough questions. And out of all the questions, there are going to be very, very few tough questions, okay? Very few. Okay. So people say alpha, of course. So if you look at these two figures, these two are mirror images as if they are placed one above the other. Same thing should happen over here. So if I draw the mirror image, we need to have a figure something like this, which is there in option A, alpha. Okay, the next one. Pranjal, puzzles are also going to be very much similar to what reasoning based easy types are. So it's again about how many different types of puzzles you practice. The more you practice, the more probability you will have that you may have seen the exact same puzzle before or may have seen a similar one, so that you know exactly how to proceed. What is puzzle? Puzzle एक ऐसा चीज होता है जब एक बार लाइफ में कर लिया तो लंबे समय तक पता होता है कि उसमें ट्रिक क्या लगता है. Right? That's what all reasoning questions and puzzles are. Okay, so we have to figure out the mirror image. So if you look at the mirror image, so this Y-shaped figure should be in the front, which Bravo is not. The last figure should have B changing to D, and it should look like this, which D doesn't have. Now between alpha and Charlie, as in A and C option, since we have E or the comb facing towards the mirror, the mirror image comp should face towards it. So between alpha and Charlie, Charlie makes sense, alpha doesn't. Right? So answer is C, like everyone has answered. Very good. बहुत बढ़िया. Next one. Okay, a little confusion there, Shivani. Charlie or Delta, what kind of mirror image are we looking at? Left to right or top to bottom? It depends where the mirror is placed, right? It's given that mirror is placed to the right of the figure. So the image should be left to right and right to left, and not top to bottom, bottom to right. Right, Shivani? So if I take this and draw the mirror image, if the mirror is placed to the right side of the figure, as in this is where the mirror is placed, so this G is going to look like this. Which option has the first symbol looking like that? Only D. कहीं और नहीं है. G is the first letter, so its mirror image, sorry, G is the last letter in the word and the mirror is right beside it, so its mirror image will be the first from the left, right? Pretty simple. Okay, let's try the next one. So confusion between B and D, as in Bravo and Delta, second option and the fourth option. Are you guys keeping track of how many answers you have answered correctly? Take this as a test, right? Where you're solving the question and then we're discussing so that you can keep track what is your accuracy, how good you are at it. Okay, so most of you have answered Delta. There is only one person that I have seen who has answered B. So since N is your first letter, so its mirror image is going to look something like this, right? A small h where its top is cut. So this is not available in the option C. Now this Z is going to look like this, its mirror image. This Z is not there in A. Between B and D now, let's see which letter is different. So you will find that this particular letter is different, which will come from G. Since G's tail is facing away from the mirror, so the G that we are going to draw, its tail should be facing away from the mirror. So G should have a symbol like this. This is more like upside down, right? B option. So the answer is Delta. Next one. Lucifer, for odd series, what you need is solving different varieties. So if you're looking at a series which is different or the odd one out in this series, you should first of all know how to solve questions related to complete a series quickly. Okay. So if you know what would be the next term in a series from the missing term of a series, you can also figure out which one is the wrong one. Okay, good. So question is, select the figure from among the given options that would replace the question mark in the following series. So it's a series of figures, right? So A is related to B, B is related to C, C is related to D, and so on. So the first thing is, you have, look at the corners, you have one black dot. Look at the corners, you have got 3 black dots. Look at the corners, you have got a total of 7 black dots. So if I look at the number of black dots at the corner, it's 1, 3-7. Common sense. How many black dots do we need to have over there? Of course, 5. So we are going to eliminate any option which doesn't have 5 black dots, or if you look at the dots, they are always at the corners. So B is eliminated, right? There are 5 black dots at the corner for all the 4 options. In B, you have a black dot somewhere at the center. Okay. The next is trying to figure out where the double dot, D is also eliminated because D also have a black dot somewhere along the side and not at the corner, right? So B and D are gone. Now between Alpha and Charlie, A and C option, let's look at the leaf-shaped figure, right? So this leaf-shaped figure, you have a P and you have a B. What shall we do with this leaf-shaped figure so that you get P written like this and B becomes, it lies on the ground, right? So the only way is if I rotate it anti-clockwise by 90 degrees. As in, if I rotate this and bring it over here, the figure will change to the next one. If it changes to the next one, so P will become vertical, as in you can read that as the English letter P, and B will lie flat. If I rotate it again once, the branch of the leaf will be vertical, and if I rotate it again once, it will again become horizontal, but it will be on the eastern side of the box. So this one completely makes sense. Then we need to have this leaf shaped, which is divided into 2 parts. Now what will happen to this P? This P, if you are going to rotate, will now lie down. And what will happen to this B? This B is going to get inverted. So the thing is moving in the anti-clockwise by 90 degrees every time. The leaf, the dots, they are increasing by 2 to 2. These are odd number of dots. So looking at only the letters P and B, we know that C is the answer and A doesn't make sense, right? Okay. Let's try the next one. Questions are repeated, guys. This is like a repeat, repetition of what we did before, so that you guys can practice. There are more students who missed out that class, right? So yes, some questions are repeated. Okay, everyone is saying Charlie. Very good. Charlie. So, if you look at this fish hook, it is initially directed towards southwest, then it is directed towards west, then it is directed towards northwest. So it is moving in the clockwise direction by 45 degrees, right? So the next one, it should point towards north. So alpha and delta will not make sense. So this should be pointing towards north now. Next, if you look at the shading that has been done on either side of the heart shape, you will find that the shading is being done in such a way that it is pointing on that side where the fish hook is not there, right? In other words, if you compare with respect to fish hook, you will find that a lot of V's are written. So if we have a fish hook over here, we need to have a lot of V's written. Right? It is there in both option Bravo and Charlie. Next comes in these letters. How are these letters related? A, D, G. So if you look A and D, B and C are a miss. So A letter is there, B and C are missing, then you have D. Then E and F are missing, then you have a G. Then you are supposed to miss H and I, and you should write J. So the next letter that should come should be J, right? So it gives you Charlie. Okay, good. Few more questions. Question number 16. Krishna, we are discussing somewhere around 20 questions, so only few left. Hardly 10 minutes. Bilen, did you understand why not B? Because of those letters that were written at the corners, in case you missed that. KK, in the next class, we will start with odd series, okay? Definitely, Lucifer, we will take odd series question. We are going to discuss about that once we are done with the questions, on which days, at what time we will be taking the sessions, so that you can, pick it out as to which sessions you want to attend. And all that is going to happen before your exam. So it will be like a revision, and in case you guys haven't come across such questions, you will come to know about them as well. Okay, so don't worry, we will do that. I'm getting a mixed response between Alpha, Bravo, Charlie. Vishnu, you are answering both, B also, C also. Can you please confirm which option are you going to be fixed with, B or C? D is also there. Kanishka says D. Okay, so looks like finally we have a good question. So when you have questions like this where there are a lot of symbols, there are few rules or few things that you should keep in mind. First rule is always, do you see the same figures in each of the given squares or each of the given figures? Do you see the same symbols, I should say? So in the first one, you see a triangle, right angle triangle, you see an equilateral triangle, you see a square, you see a circle, and then you see an arrow. These are the 5 symbols you see in the first one. What about the next one? You see a triangle, equilateral, you see an arrow, you see a circle, you see a square, you see a right angle triangle. In the next one, again, you have an arrow, you have a right angle triangle, an equilateral, a square, and a circle. It means each figure should have these 5 symbols only. You should not have a new symbol, right? Okay, so we know that as of now. Next one is, you see some figures are within a boundary, right? So you will find that this square is not within a boundary. All the remaining 4 are. So if you look at this particular figure, square is again not in the boundary, square is not in the boundary. That means square should not be in the boundary, right? This is the second thing that we have in mind. Let's use this and see from the options, can we eliminate or select something? Square, arrow, equilateral, circle, right angle. So all the figures are there in each one of them. So the symbols are not changing. Next, do we have any case where any other figure is not within a boundary but that square is? No. So the next step comes in, you have to see the arrangement or the motion of the symbols, right? So let's look at the first figure. You have the arrow here. Then what happens to the arrow? And arrow is within how many sided figure? It's within a hexagon, 6-sided figure, right? Okay. Then when this arrow moves here, it goes into a square. Okay, so this arrow goes here, this goes here. We don't know what is going to happen now to that arrow symbol. Let's look at the right angle triangle. So right angle triangle was here. It moved here, right? Okay. Let's look at the circle and the square bottom. Circle and the square, they interchanged, and they interchanged. So it's like circle and the square, they are simply interchanging. They're like patrolling that particular bottom side of the box. Square, circle, square, circle, square, circle, right? So the next figure should have a square here and the circle here with their enclosure. C goes for a toss. C nahi ho sakta. Okay. Now what is happening between the right angle triangle, equilateral triangle and the arrow? They are moving in this particular fashion, isn't it? Because the bottom two figures are not moving. So ये तीन आपस में घूम रहे होंगे. So the right angle triangle moves here, then it moves to the northeast corner. The arrow was at the center, it moves to the northeast, then it moves to the northwest. So अब बारी होगी arrow के बीच में आने की, right? Equilateral triangle should go there, and then right angle triangle should come here. Okay. Looking at the remaining options, we don't have an arrow in option B. Bravo में नहीं है arrow at the center. Now between A and D, you see this hexagonal outer boundary. So that is also moving. So hexagonal outer boundary was here at the center initially. In the next figure, it moved towards the northwest, and then it moved towards the northeast. Then going by the rotation, that outer boundary, hexagonal in nature, should come at the center. So between alpha and delta, you'll find that hexagonal figure is, that boundary is at the center. So A comes out to be your answer. Because I'm explaining, so it may be like a lengthy solution, but when you simply glance or you look at the rotation, it's little time consuming. Is it clear? Anyone, any doubt? Why is it alpha and why is not Bravo, Charlie or Delta, what you guys were answering? So remember the rule. First, see if every figure has same number of or same symbols. Second, is there a particular number or change in the number of symbols? Third, if nothing of that is happening, then look at the rotation in which it is happening. And it's pure common sense. It's like if I form a question, you should be able to figure out मैंने क्या सोच के बनाया. So if you get into the mind of the question creator, you can solve it very easily. क्योंकि वो कुछ भी हो सकता है. You can also form such questions of your own and give it to your friend to solve, right? Same वही चीज होता है. Okay. Next one. Relatively simpler. Try it. शैलेंद्र, एग्जाम में फिर क्या करोगे? एक काम करो, सॉल्व करने की जगह आदत डाल लो गोल गोल घूमने का, थोड़ी सी स्टैमिना बढ़ जाएगी, चक्कर कम आएंगे फिर. Okay, good. Everyone has answered. Bravo. So this moves here. Looking at the square symbol, okay, it moves at the bottom, then it should move at the southwest corner. So A can't be your answer. Looking at this mouse shaped figure, or whether it is an ellipse. So this one is moving in the anti-clockwise direction. So the next one should be at this place. If you look at the shading of this ellipse, less of black, more of white, less of white, more of black, less of black, more of white. The next one should be less of white and more of black, right? You have more white some in one figure, then you have got more black shade in the next figure for that ellipse. So C goes for a toss. Next, if you look at the square shaped figure, so it is pointing in the west direction, it is pointing in the north direction, it is pointing in the east direction. Next, it should point in the south direction, as in that shade or that dot should be closer to the side of the outer box, which is like east, west, north, south, aise karke. Here it is facing inwards, here it is facing towards the south direction. So between B and D, B makes more sense. Okay, next one. Yes, Milen, only 3 weeks left, but it's very easy to cover up all the weaker areas as well as strengthen your strengths. These questions are very nice. This is like mirror image only, but you have to visualize a bit more. You have to understand that whenever you have a piece of paper and you fold them again and again and cut them using a pair of scissors, and when you open them back, you get a design, you get some pattern, right? That's exactly what you will have to do here. So you had a square sheet of paper, you folded it in half, you folded it again, and then those arrows were cut using pair of scissors. And when you open it back, which out of these figures will you get? So of course, it's easier for me because I'm drawing everything on screen, right? For you guys, you will have to redraw it on a piece of paper and then attempt. And don't try to be very artistic. You don't have to draw everything accurately. Arrow simple aise bana dena. So if it is cut like this, and if I open it, don't you think I will have 2 more here and 1 here? Matlab, ये ऐसा था, ये ऐसा था, 4 ऐसे थे. Now if I open it further, इसका mirror image इधर को बनेगा और इसका mirror image इधर को बनेगा. So you will exactly know what figure you are going to get. All you have to do is backtrack it. ठीक है? From all the figures you will see A is the correct answer because you have more arrows at the center and lesser number of arrows to the left and right. Okay? Next one. Second last question. Guys, I don't see likes. Okay, so there is a bit of confusion between option Bravo as in B and C. And it's a very, very minute difference between option B and C, right? Okay, so same thing, you need to draw this square shape, the last figure on your on the rough paper or the sheet that you have, and start solving from here. So if you open it, it will be a mirror image of this type. Just draw this much and then see where do you see half of the figure, the top half looking like that. Do you see the top half looking like that? Yes, here. Do you see the top half looking like that? Yes. Do you see the top half? Yes. Top half? No. Because the centers, those circles, they are misaligned. Now when you open it, this will act like a mirror and everything gets superimposed. So you need to have a square close to the square and then you need to have circles. थोड़ा थोड़ा बना के check करो, पूरा बनाने के बाद मत check करो. Because maybe if you draw only some part of it, you will be able to relate which figure makes more sense. पूरा draw करके क्या sense बनता? Time waste होगा. So you don't have a circle at the center here, right? So A is not your answer. You do have two circles at the center and two squares right in front of them. So it makes sense right now. You don't have a square here close to square. So C doesn't make sense. So B जो शायद हो सकता था, अब यही answer है. I don't have to draw further figures because there is no option left, है ना? Last question. हाँ, so you only draw the last figure. और उसके बाद फिर उधर से बनाना शुरू कर दो. And every time you draw something, look at the options. Maybe you will get your answer very quickly. ठीक है? Okay. C is your answer because if you open it back, you will have a square over here and you will have a square over here. So it's like a punch hole that you have made which will impact two parts of the piece of paper, right? Ek to the one that has been folded and the place where it was folded, right? So you will have its mirror image over here and then you will have its mirror image over here. You will have its mirror image over here. So you will have 4 squares at the corners and you will have 4 squares along the diagonal at the center. So only Charlie makes sense. Okay. So the people who were asking me, so from tomorrow onwards, 9 p.m. onwards, we will have 20 sessions. So your exam is on 22nd, right? So right before your exam, we are going to have 20 sessions, 9 p.m. daily. Okay. And if you attend those, you will have highly probable questions. So we're going to figure out from the previous papers and our years of experiences that we have got, that which type of question, mostly because we can't predict the exact question, right? But which type of questions are more favorable to come. Okay, so please do join tomorrow onwards from 9 p.m. Everybody please do subscribe, people who have not yet, not the ones in the chat because that's subscribers only mode. And do press the bell icon to get the notifications. Okay, and anyone who is targeting for CAT this year, you can join our exam prep for CAT. Okay, so you have got 135 live sessions, more than 135, which is a lot. Okay, you will have more than 90 topics covered in the 3 sections, right? You have got VRC, you have got QA, and you have got LRDI. Total of 300 plus recorded sessions you will get. So the current students, the current batches, they are enjoying it. Even there are a lot of students who are working. So even if they don't attend it live, they always have the recorded sessions at their disposal. You will get 70 plus full mock test, which is the highest in the industry. You will have almost now 10,000. We have got practice questions now. Okay. We have got 1500 plus questions, which is different from practice questions in our class sheets. You will get 4 books also. And GDPI is very important. People really do not take GDPI seriously. You score well in an exam, how are you going to clear your interview? What are the questions they're going to ask you in the interview, right? So all these things are going to be discussed in the case of GDPI. So please do enroll now. Don't forget to like, okay? And please do share this video with any friend of yours who are targeting MAH CET this year or next year. Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot for your time. Okay.